Welcome to the 3 Steps to Startup Masterclass series, brought to you by Tech Connect West Virginia, Innova Commercialization Group, and the West Virginia Jobs Investment Trust. This masterclass series is part of the 3 Steps to Startup initiative. The goal of 3 Steps is to provide early-stage entrepreneurs with critical assistance and structured guidance for innovation commercialization, from ideation to product launch and market entry. 3 Steps to Startup is made possible by support from the Appalachian Regional Commission and the Claude Worthington Benedum Foundation. This is Masterclass number 6, How to Effectively Launch a Product. Today's masterclass is one in a series, in which viewers will have an opportunity to gain deep insights and actionable intelligence designed to help entrepreneurs launch and grow their ventures. Within each masterclass, we will take a deep dive into a specific topic to teach the what, how, and why, so that you, the viewer, may be better informed and duly prepared to apply your newfound wisdom in a manner that will positively impact your new or early-stage venture. Here's a preview of the concepts we will be covering in this masterclass, each of which is designed to help you connect dots, grow professionally, and become a more efficient and effective entrepreneur. This masterclass is all about taking the idea in your head and turning it into a successful new product or service available in the marketplace, whether it's a business-to-business or business-to-customer arrangement. For the sake of this masterclass, we will be using product as a catch-all term to represent both products and services of all types. We will begin by discussing a few of the many reasons why a product may fail, as well as several of the most common pitfalls that may derail product launch success. We will also highlight 8 critical success factors in the product development and launch process, as well as the 3 qualities of a truly superior product. In this masterclass, we will examine the developmental milestones a product must hit before being considered prior to requesting funding, and we will break down the product development process into its core components. Finally, we will talk about the types of questions a smart investor will ask an entrepreneur who is seeking funding. We will end this masterclass by posing several questions for reflection as you marinate on all we've shared with you today, and by sharing additional resources you might choose to leverage for your own extended learning. We have a lot to cover. Failure is absolutely a part of the entrepreneurial process, and, well, life itself. We all fail in some way, large or small. When it comes to failure in entrepreneurship, the hope is that the failures can be non-fatal learning experiences that are as inexpensive as possible. A product may fail for any number of reasons, and here we have a few of the more common causes for product launch failure. A failure may be the result of one or more than one issue. For example, a product may fail because problems in the production process cannot be solved at all, or the solution to the problem may be costly enough to make product production a poor decision. Or, a truly innovative entrepreneur may attempt to bring a product to market before the market is aware they need or want the product. Just a few short decades ago, many craft brewers struggled to gain traction in a world that was dominated by a handful of mass-produced brands. Sometimes, however, products may have multiple fatal flaws that sink the ship. For example, an entrepreneur may incur higher than expected production costs and may pinch pennies on marketing, resulting in lower demand stimulation and consequently lower sales. Many of the things that cause a product development effort to fail can be mitigated or eliminated altogether if the entrepreneur will work through a proven product development process. Understanding where the train can run off its track is important when seeking to embark on the journey of product development and launch. The potential pitfalls that may prevent an entrepreneur from achieving success are innumerable, but we thought we would share a few in order to help paint the picture. As you can see on this slide, these pitfalls have been grouped into 6 themes for ease of consumption. These themes are as follows: the idea, the team, systems and processes, money, discoverable negatives, and the external environment. For each theme, we have offered up some additional details to better understand what we mean. For example, we discussed the startup team in an earlier masterclass. Within the team, having the wrong organizational structure, poor synergy, lack of critical experience, poor leadership, or the inability of the inventor to work for the company are all potential threats to success that may befall the entrepreneurial venture. Beware. Though some measure failure is a near certainty in an entrepreneurial venture, success is far more elusive. First, it's incredibly important that an entrepreneur has a quantifiable vision for what success means, so that there is a clear target or goal in mind. Of course, this vision of success may evolve over time as the entrepreneur grows and gains experience. That said, there are many success factors that can help the entrepreneur achieve relative success. On this slide, we have shared 8 of the more common factors related to product development and launch success. As with our discussion of failure, this list is non-exhaustive. Our list is meant to help lay a trail of breadcrumbs that an entrepreneur can follow as they seek product development and launch success. We discuss a number of these elements in the slides ahead, and we have covered others in prior masterclasses. For example, assembling a proper team is crucial. If you seek to develop and launch a product, you should have a team member with the requisite expertise in developing and launching a similar product, who can manage the process for your product. Also, you need to verify that the problem you are seeking to solve is compelling enough for people that you can generate sufficient revenue to grow and make the venture a viable option. You must ensure that what you seek to offer satisfies the needs of your target market, and you must ensure that you have the resources and capabilities to produce the product. You, the entrepreneur, must take the time to craft and then execute a well-formed, well-thought-out business plan. Last but not least, you must have a superior product in order to stand out from the crowd. Let's take a look at some of the qualities of a superior product now. Not just any new product will find success in a crowded marketplace. The product needs to be superior to those that already exist in order to have a chance. Though the entrepreneur may think their product is superior at face value, there are a few identifiable characteristics to help determine if the product is indeed superior to its competition. First, the product must deliver unique benefits that the intended customer can easily see or perceive. It's not enough for the entrepreneur to simply say the product is unique and beneficial. The customer must accept this as reality, or the entire train stops. Next, the entrepreneur must have a very clear understanding of what the product is and is not, and how to differentiate within a crowded marketplace. This needs to occur before the product has been developed, as the product definition and differentiation strategies will inform the production process. Finally, the product must deliver unmatched value to the customer. Otherwise, the customer may not see the need to switch from using their current solution. The overall value proposition, not just the price, must be sufficient that the customer will be willing to create new habits by adopting a new product. All of these qualities are present in a truly superior product. A new product needs to be taken through a number of what we call developmental milestones before it should be considered ready to hit the open market. Though many entrepreneurs have excellent instincts and may be fairly well in touch with the needs of their desired market, investors cannot bank on instinct alone. An investor-ready product is moved through a series of stages where critical questions can be investigated and deep insights can be gathered that will shape and inform the product development process. A non-exhaustive sampling of these developmental milestones appears on this slide. The smart investors will want to know how the entrepreneur tested and validated various assumptions about the desirability, feasibility, and viability of the new product. This testing and validation occurs within the product development process we will walk through next. The product development process can be divided into two primary stages, each with several substages or steps and an associated desired outcome or mission. We refer to stage 1 as the convergence stage because entrepreneurs are starting with a very wide aperture and working to narrow down their field of view as they progress through the three substages. By the end of this stage, the entrepreneur should have achieved the mission of gathering sufficient insights to minimize the risk of a product launch failure. In the initial substage, entrepreneurs are starting with a broad and often fuzzy idea for the product or service they hope to bring to fruition. Their concept may be a napkin drawing or a dream that lives in their head, or their concept could be a loose collection of features and proposed benefits they think the market will want. Either way, at its most basic level, the concept is an unproven assumption or set of assumptions on the part of the entrepreneur. It's a starting point for the long journey ahead. Substage 2 is the next step in the entrepreneur's journey. In this step, the entrepreneur will need to conduct a great deal of research to mold their concept. Picture an untouched lump of clay on a potter's wheel. The entrepreneur will need to learn about the proposed market they seek to sell to in order to learn about their pain points and currently available options for treating these issues. The goal is to find the most compelling issues with the least effective remedies, or the remedies with flaws that the entrepreneur can improve upon. It's critical that the entrepreneur not fall into the trap of thinking that their proposed solution is totally unique and that the public will easily recognize how much better their lives will be if they use the product. While this may be true, the entrepreneur must use research and testing to validate any critical assumptions they may be making about their product, including the problem they seek to solve and the proposed remedy they wish to put forth. These validations need to occur before the entrepreneur can move to step 3. Substage 3 is the final step in stage 1 of the product development process. This step is where the entrepreneur will focus their efforts on testing the feasibility of the concept and see if it will function in the manner envisioned by the entrepreneur. The goal here is to see if the dream can become a reality by testing the viability related to the product's potential to be brought to life. This proof of concept step is not intended to test the market demand, as that important exercise will come later. Proof of concept, or POC, allows for the identification of bugs or glitches that could be devastating later on. Both internal and external stakeholders should have an opportunity to offer feedback in the POC step during a theoretical demonstration of the product. The POC should answer how the product aligns with company goals and objectives. A well-planned POC process should include a product evaluation with clear success metrics and propose next steps should the POC be proven successful, as well as what to do if the POC does not go well. Finally, it's important to know that a proof of concept and a prototype are not the same thing. More on this in a moment when we move into stage 2. Now it's time to move into stage 2, the divergence stage. Here, the entrepreneur will seek to move from largely working behind the scenes to taking their product into the marketplace. The overarching desired outcome for stage 2 is to stimulate sustainable growth for the product by increasing market share. The entrepreneur may seek to diverge from a single target market to a separate or multiple markets over time. This stage begins with the entrepreneur developing a series of prototypes, starting with a very simple rudimentary one. The iterative process of prototype development involves building a simple prototype that evolves as the entrepreneur gains new insights with each iteration, until there exists an early version of the intended final product called an MVP, or minimum viable product. The key is to moderate the time, money, and effort put into each iteration, and to make revisions based on data and captured insights rather than pure emotion. Now that the entrepreneur has refined and proven their concept through testing and research, it's time to see if their concept is desirable to the point that a member of their target market is willing to expend some effort to learn more by joining a waitlist, or better yet, by spending their hard-earned money to try the product. This is where the product moves from theoretical to actual. Now, it's time to build and launch a market-ready product with all the bells and whistles that have been deemed necessary by product testing in the MVP stage. This whole product is the version designed for the mainstream market. As noted previously, more isn't always better, and less isn't always more. By properly leveraging the product development process, the entrepreneur should at this point know the exact primary market they will target. And they have designed the product to solve a compelling problem and deliver high value via a remarkable solution. The whole product will have the just right mix of features and benefits to inspire customers to switch from their current alternative solution to the new product. It's in this phase that the entrepreneur will begin to generate meaningful revenue to fuel future product iterations meant for secondary and tertiary markets. This is the step where the rubber meets the road and the product begins to take off. When executed properly, the whole market step sets the stage for a very bright future for the new product and the entrepreneur behind it. In an earlier masterclass, we introduced you to the adoption of innovation curve, the 5 groups of people that make up the landscape of adopters, and the concept of the chasm, the developmental milestone a product needs to achieve to reach mainstream market adoption where iterative growth occurs. Following the whole product phase of the product development process, the next step is the market extension phase. This is where the product will cross the chasm. Insights gained along the journey will inform additional product iterations specifically designed for additional market segments. The product may undergo a series of 2 or 3 or 4 data-informed iterations on the way to achieving massive market adoption and market leader status. Each iteration fuels new interest and keeps the product relevant. Ideally, this market extension stage should continue in perpetuity. Consider the smartphone, for example, and how high-performing brands continue to evolve their product to deliver a compelling value proposition year after year. Even while a new product iteration is launching and achieving success, work is going on behind the scenes to develop the next iteration. This is how sustainable, iterative product growth is achieved. Many entrepreneurs can feel intimidated when faced with the prospect of pitching their ventures to investors. The thought of getting mercilessly grilled by super successful, highly astute business people can strike fear in the hearts of entrepreneurs who recognize that their success is reliant upon getting funded. Though there may be those few investors out there who revel in the idea of making an entrepreneur shake in their boots, the overwhelming majority are much more supportive and have the best of intentions in dealing with entrepreneurs. Many have been in the investor hot seat before and have survived, wanting a chance to pay it forward now that they have found success of their own. Investors are not the enemy, and the act of pitching for funding shouldn't feel like an adversarial process. Investors, by definition, want to invest. However, they won't just go around handing out stacks of cash to anyone who asks. Smart investors are curious and will have questions for the entrepreneur as they consider the potential deal at hand. In order to help demystify the question and answer process between an investor and an entrepreneur seeking funding, we've shared the 3 primary categories of questions investors are most likely to ask. First, an investor may ask technology-related questions. For example, the investor may wish to know more about your As we move towards wrapping up this masterclass, we'd like to highlight a few of the takeaways we hope you'll be leaving with today as they relate to our topic of how to effectively launch a product. We began our discussion by talking about the nature of failure and the potential reasons why a product may fail. We then looked at 6 types or themes of potential pitfalls that may derail the development and launch process. Next, we walked through 8 success factors and the 3 overarching qualities of a truly superior product. We then examined the developmental milestones a product will need to achieve prior to being investor-ready. Then we broke down the product development process into 2 stages, with 3 sub-stages apiece, and we outlined the goal or mission of each stage. Finally, we shared the 3 categories of questions investors may ask an entrepreneur seeking funding. As always, our mission has been to provide actionable insights to help entrepreneurs successfully launch a product. Learning without application is a form of intellectual collecting. Without applying what you've learned today along the rest of your entrepreneurial journey, you cannot expect dramatic positive improvements. As a means of helping you apply all that we've covered in this masterclass, we have assembled several reflection questions, upon which we suggest you marinate as you connect dots and consider how best to apply your learnings to your new or early-stage venture. Number 1. What are some of the most common reasons entrepreneurs fail when trying to launch a product? Number 2. Why is it so important to have the right team in place when trying to launch a product? Number 3. What qualities are possessed by a truly superior product? Number 4. How do proof of concept and MVP differ, and why is each critical to product launch success? And number 5. What are the categories of questions an investor might ask an entrepreneur seeking funding? If today's content has piqued your interest and you would like to continue to dig into these topics for your own ongoing development, we recommend several resources for your extended learning pleasure. Our resource list includes websites, podcasts, and books relevant to the topics covered today. You may find links to each resource on the 3 Steps to Startup website. Enjoy! Well, we have reached the end of this masterclass series, brought to you by Tech Connect West Virginia, Innova Commercialization Group, and the West Virginia Jobs Investment Trust. It's our hope that you learned something today that challenged you to think differently, and which provided the insights you need to take your venture to the next level. To check out additional masterclasses and other valuable resources, or to learn more about the 3 Steps to Startup initiative, please visit 3stepstostartup.com. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you all the best with your startup journey.